Shocking CCTV visuals have emerged of assaulters who allegedly killed 16-year-old Junaid and brutally assaulted his brothers.
It's been 5 days and only one arrest has been made in the brutal lynching of the 16-year-old Junaid, who was stabbed to death by a mob inside a train. In fact, a CCTV footage has now emerged which shows 3 possible suspects in this case. We spoke to Hashim, who's Junaid's brother, who was also present on that fateful day with Junaid, and he said that he cannot say it with certainty, but they did look like suspects in this case.
5 days after the spine-chilling murder on board the Delhi-Mathura passenger train, police have been able to arrest only one of the accused. Despite this telling evidence, the police have not made any headway.
जी हो सकता है, शायद मैं दावे के साथ कह सकता हूँ, लेकिन पक्का तो नहीं कह सकता, लेकिन मुझे शक है इन पे शक है। जी ये कपड़े ऐसे पहन रखे थे लड़कों ने? जी कपड़े ऐसे पहने। ये तीनों की एक? जी 2 भी हो सकते हैं, 3 भी हो सकते हैं।
4 brothers, Junaid, Hashim, Moin and Mohsin, left home last Thursday to shop for Eid. But 16-year-old Junaid never came back home. An argument over seats in a train snowballed and the brothers were allegedly blamed for eating beef, their patriotism questioned, and then reportedly were lynched by a mob of over 15 people. The family has blamed the police for their laid-back approach. Their chalta hai attitude clearly evident in a spy cam operation that the Times Network conducted. Listen in to the station house officers telling us on camera that what happened was no big deal.
इनका फंस देता है, इन्हें पता नहीं इस चीज का क्या होगा इस केस का। केस फॉलो होएगा, केस का क्यों नहीं लिखा? केस तो ट्रेस वर्कआउट हो रहा है। अरे ये तो वर्कआउट हो रहा है। देखो 2-3 दिन में हम इसको ट्रेस करके छोड़ेंगे, क्या होगा? आप लोग का स्टार्ट इनका स्टार्ट चलो बड़ा उग्र रूप कैसे होगा? तो 24-25 वहाँ से दिल्ली चढ़े हैं इतने दोस्त के साथ ही। अब तो वही है ना, उसी बात से हुआ। दिल्ली बंदा तो बता भी ये करता है, परे समझ परे हो एक और बस। ये बेचारे नए थे, ये इशू बन जाने के लिए थे, हमने तुम्हारी बेइज्जती कर दी यार, क्या इसीलिए इनका थोड़ा।
Meanwhile, Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar has offered the customary soundbite promising action.
क्योंकि उसमें एक व्यक्ति को पकड़ लिया गया है और बाकी 3 अभी जिसको कहना चाहिए उनकी तलाश है, और मैं समझता हूँ उनको बहुत जल्दी हम पकड़ लेंगे। और परिवार, ये घटना बड़ी दुखद घटना है। परिवार के लोगों को हमने आर्थिक सहायता भी की है, 10 लाख रुपए की परिवार को सहायता ये दी गई है, और अपील की हमने कि एक प्रकार की शांति वो बनाए रखें, और मैं समझता हूँ सब चीज़ अंडर कंट्रोल।
But the apathy of the establishment couldn't be more evident, with the SHO himself dismissing the case lightly. As Junaid's parents continue their fight for justice, we ask, despite the telling evidence, how much longer will the Haryana police take to arrest the mob that was involved in killing Junaid? Mirror Now report.
Well, this is the Urban Debate on Mirror Now. I'm Fede Souza. Thank you for joining us. Days are passing and somehow it seems like the Haryana police needs to be reminded how to do its job. First of all, the insensitivity of the police officer caught on our camera by our reporter turning around and saying this sort of thing happens. You know how these people are treated in Delhi, which is why they get into fights, which is why this sort of lifing happens. It's not really a big deal. These are his words. The media is making a big fuss about it. Secondly, the Haryana Chief Minister turning around and saying that we've offered financial help to the family of 10 lakh rupees. So a price has been put on the life of this 16-year-old boy. 10 lakh rupees should make it all better. We've already arrested one person. Our question is, how long will it be before the Haryana police learns how to do its job? First of all, they have this sort of evidence right now where they can actually identify the people who were part of this murder. Secondly, when you book a train ticket, don't you have to give some sort of government ID and personal details? Do they not have access to an entire list of people who were on the train that day? Thirdly, you have arrested one person who should be able to identify the rest of his colleagues in this murder, the people who got together with him, as we have heard from the victims that there were at least 15 people. Fourthly, you do have 4 eyewitnesses who can identify the people for you. Why is it taking so long? Are the police dragging their feet on purpose, allowing those who are accused to get away? They can get almost halfway across the country right now if we don't know who these people are. This is absolute inefficiency. And is it motivated inefficiency? That's the question we're asking this evening. But we're first joined by Khushi Mohammad. Khushi Mohammad is Junaid's cousin. Junaid is a 16-year-old victim in this particular case. Apurva is with him right now. Apurva, thank you for joining us. Apurva, ask him at this point if the police have asked them for any more evidence, if the police have brought them any other evidence. There is CCTV footage that has now come up, and we've also got one police officer telling our reporter that this sort of thing happens. It's not a big deal in Delhi or in Haryana.
Right, let me take this across to Khushi Mohammad, who is Junaid's cousin, who is joining us on the show. ये बताइए कि पुलिस ने अभी फिलहाल एक सीसीटीवी फुटेज जो है वही अभी हाथ में आया है। क्या आपको नहीं लगता है और ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो उनको अभी तक आ जानी चाहिए थी उनके हाथ में, क्योंकि 5 दिन हो चुके हैं इस पूरी घटना को हुए?
बिल्कुल जी, ये तो पुलिस की लापरवाही है। ये तो बहुत दिन पहले आ जाने चाहिए थे। ये जो पुलिस है ये कमजोरी है इसकी, ये बहुत दिन पहले आ जाने चाहिए थे। अब तक तो सारे गिरफ्तार हो जाने चाहिए थे।
और आपको क्या इस केस के बारे में आपको क्या लगता है, किस तरीके से जो भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रही है, 5 दिन हो गए हैं, सिर्फ एक को अरेस्ट किया गया है, उनके हाथ में सभी कुछ है, जिस दिन दहाड़े ये पूरी घटना हुई है, क्या लगता है कहाँ पर पुलिस चूक रही है अपने इन्वेस्टिगेशन में?
देखो जी, मेरे को ये लग रहा है अब पुलिस सुस्ती से काम कर रही है। नहीं, अब तक उनको पकड़ लेना चाहिए था। एक बुग्गी में मतलब इतनी बड़ी हादसा हो गया और पुलिस अभी आराम 5 दिन हो गए, अभी तक एक पकड़ के बैठी है। जब एक पकड़ लिया तो ये समझो उससे चैन बना कर सारे पकड़ लेने चाहिए थे। तो
Right, so that's what he's saying, that if you've caught one, why is it taking the police so long to nab the other accused? They have so many eyewitnesses. They could have spoken to so many people who were on board that train. Why is it taking the police so long to nab all the accused in this case?
Well, Apurva also asked him that our reporter in Delhi has got on camera one police officer who has turned around and said that these people, he said, these people are treated in this manner in Delhi. This sort of fight is normal. This happens all the time. This is just the media kicking up a fuss. It's actually not such a big deal. What is his reaction to the fact that this is how the police are viewing this case?
हमारे एक रिपोर्टर ने एक पुलिस अफसर से इस पूरे जांच के बारे में पूछा, तो उनका पुलिस का ये कहना था कि ऐसी घटनाएं होती रहती है इन लोगों के साथ। उन्होंने बहुत स्पेसिफिकली कहा कि इन लोगों के साथ ऐसी घटनाएं होती रहती है और ये कोई आम बात, ये बहुत ही आम बात है दिल्ली ऐसे एरियाज में। आपका इस ऐसे रिएक्शन में, ऐसे पुलिस की इस स्टेटमेंट से आपका क्या विचार है?
जी, इस स्टेटमेंट से तो मैं नाखुश हूँ। ऐसा क्यों होता है? क्या हम इस देश के वासी नहीं हैं? जो वो लोग कह रहे हैं कि ऐसी घटनाएं होती रहती हैं, क्या हम इस देश के रहने वाले नहीं हैं? क्या हिंदुस्तानी नागरिक नहीं हैं हम? क्यों होता है हमारे साथ ऐसा? जो भी मामला है, एक सर पे टोपी है, दाढ़ी है, मतलब वो अपना बिजनेस के लिए कहीं जा रहा है या शॉपिंग के लिए जा रहा है, कहीं शहर जा रहा है, रिश्तेदारी में जा रहा है, और फिर ये बदमाश टाइप के आदमी वो शरारत कर देते हैं, वो मतलब आदमी को सरेआम मार देते हैं, और फिर पुलिस कहती है ऐसी घटना होती रहती है। धिक्कार है ऐसी पुलिस से।
There you heard it. There's outrage actually, which from the statement that the police have actually made, and we've got it on camera where they're saying that such kind of incidences really happen in Delhi. But the real question that everybody here in this village is raising is why? Why is it that time and again this kind of instances keep happening with just one community? Why is there specific targeting in this case?
All right, Apurva, stay with us, and of course, please allow Mr. Khushi Mohammad to hear what's going on in the conversation, and if he wants to add something or come in or give us a response, signal to us so we can come to you and you're able to communicate with him. Let me welcome the rest of the guests into this conversation. The police person who has been caught on camera saying this sort of thing happens is Ashok Kumar, SHO GRP, Faridabad. He's the one who has said things like this sort of thing normally happens with these people. This is how they're treated. It is not a big deal. The media is making a fuss about this. I will play out that video in a little while. I first want to bring in the guests into the studio. Our phone lines are also open because this is such a deeply concerning matter. Raman Mallik, spokesperson of the Haryana BJP, joins us right now on the show at this point. Brijesh Kalappa, national spokesperson of the Congress party. Ejaz Naqvi is an advocate with the Supreme Court. Ramakanth Gaur, senior advocate, Supreme Court. Shabnam Hashmi is a social activist. Vikram Singh, former DGP, Uttar Pradesh. Shamsuddin Tamboli is the president of the Muslim Satyashodhak Mandal. Khushi Mohammad, also, as we know, is Junaid's cousin, who stays with us, and he can hear the proceeds of this conversation. I want to go back to Vikram Singh, who's been kind enough to join us over the course of 2 shows. Vikram Singh, here's what we know. There's CCTV camera that the eyewitnesses are pointing to and saying, yes, at least 2 of these people were part of the crowd of people who attacked us. Everybody who books a train ticket has to give out some sort of identification, a phone number, a PAN card, which means that the police can access a list of everyone who was on the train that day. There must be other CCTV footage from other train stations at this point. There are eyewitnesses, and there is one accused in custody who can identify the rest. Why is it that the police is dragging their feet? Is it because the chief minister turns around and says, oh, we arrested one person, the police is doing its job?
Faye, you have enumerated everything that is possible for the police to do. It is not rocket science. Number one, you have one accused in custody. A thorough interrogation, putting him across to narco analysis and lie detector test would spill the beans as to who the other co-accused are. You have CCTV footages, you have the porters, you have the tea vendors and the samosa sellers at the platform who can give you a fair idea of who the other co-accused are. It is just not possible for the police to not be able to identify who the other co-accused are. It is something very basic. The identity papers that the passengers would have to, the travelers would have to provide to buy the railway tickets, traveling to and fro. Almost everybody knows every other person, and if the police were to be serious. But the question is, see what Khushi Ahmed has to say. Lanat hai. Lanat hai. The first reason is lanat hai si police ke upar. Number 2, there's another SHO who's on record to say aisi cheezein hoti hain. With this casual and cavalier attitude, do you expect them to go from the surface to go deeper into the investigation? Ascertain who the accused are. It is one of the very simple cases to crack, and it has not been cracked. I feel that the credibility is going bad from worse every day, and the credibility has hit an all-time low.
The credibility has hit an all-time low. Ramakanth Gaur, that shocking video of that police officer who said this sort of thing happens, the media is making a fuss about it, actually gives us a clue as to why this investigation is not moving faster, because the police just seem to think that this is normal. The lynching and the killing and the murder of a 16-year-old boy is normal, Ramakanth Gaur.
Please see the statement of the victim, which you played on your show last night.
We seem to have a problem with that audio. I'm going to bring in Raman Mallik at this point. Raman Mallik, 5 days down, no more arrests, and a very cavalier attitude from the Haryana police, I must point out to you.
See, I was not fair. I must say certain things up front, that the case is not being taken lightly. When you told me about this debate today, I had the word with Hanif Qureshi, the Commissioner Police of Faridabad, and I said that he must have, because I was not having the access to this particular recording, so I've asked him to please see this program and see the tapes with your channel about the casual attitude, and he has assured me that it would be looked into, and the person who is there in that video would be taken to account, and things would be asked from him and explanation would be sought. That is number 1. Number 2, see, the crime is there. Yes, it is an EMU. EMU tickets are not generally booked over the internet or the other things, and you don't have to kind of give your identification for EMU right up front. A lot of times you have a lot of people who have passes, and that is also one place where there can be a difficulty in finding who the exact people were. There are some footage which are a little blurred, and yes, we think that there are substantial evidences in that also, and the people were covering their faces. After the debate yesterday also, I have been on to this case, inquiring from everybody that what has happened till now, what are the steps taken. Certain things I can reveal here and certain things I cannot. But the teams, as I told you yesterday, there were 5 teams. Today I can easily say there are around 9 teams which are operating on various leads. The help from various sources, external also, is being taken to identify these blurred videos and taken into account what and who all were there. All angles possible are taken into consideration, and an extensive work is being done. I can assure you of that. But yes, casual attitude will not be taken into not be taken lightly.
Raman Mallik, if there are 5 teams on this case,
statement.
If there are 5 teams on this case, there are 5 teams of very inefficient police officers on this case. Let me, for your benefit, Raman Mallik, 1 second. Let me, for your benefit, play for you the tape of this police officer that we're talking about, Ashok Kumar, SHO, GRP, Faridabad. Let's play that tape for Raman Mallik's benefit and for anybody else on the panel who has not heard it up till now, to hear why police officers in Haryana take this so lightly. Play this out. Let our viewers hear it one more time.
See, Faye, I am not at all doubting the video.
No, I just...
सीट के पीछे हुआ तो कुछ भी नहीं हुआ. अब टेलीविजन जैसे मजाक करते रहते हैं ना. चलो बड़े हो. चलो ये थे फर्स्ट डे. इनका फर्स्ट डे था, इन्हें पता नहीं इस चीज का. अरे मुल्ले बड़े हो. क्या भी दिया हो. नॉर्मल बात है तो डेली संजोगी तो वहाँ से हुआ काम और कुछ भी नहीं था.
तो ये जो पकड़ा है इसका क्या रोल है?
ये था ना, ये था लेकिन अभी किसी को वो नहीं करा,
पहचान नहीं रहा. इसके सर पे चोट लगी है.
इसके सर पे तो वो चोट,
एक को तो बेल्ट भी मारा था उसने. हाँ, जिसके सर पे चोट लगी. हाँ,
जिसको खून भी निकला हुआ.
तो ये मेन नहीं है ना.
ये तो ऐसा है, वो मेन ही लगा लो तो वहाँ से. हाँ, देसी भाषा में कहते हैं ना स्वादू जो होते हैं. हाँ, ठीक है ना. जैसे और इधर सेक ले तू भी सेक ले दो यार. हाँ.
क्या होगा इस केस का?
केस फॉलो होएगा. केस का क्यों नहीं?
केस तो वर्कआउट हो रहा है.
अरे ये तो
वर्कआउट हो रहा है.
देखो 2-3 दिन में हम इसको ट्रेस करके छोड़ेंगे. क्या हुआ
आप लोग का स्टार्ट
चलो उग्र रूप कैसे होगा. तो 24-25 वहाँ से दिलीप सिंह चढ़े हैं इतने
दोस्त के साथ ही.
अब तो वही है ना, उसी बात से हुआ. दिलीप सिंह को पता भी ये करते हैं पर सब परे हो.
हाँ, एक नहीं
है बस. ये बेचारे नए थे, ये इशू बन जाने के लिए थे. हमने तुम्हारी बेइज्जती कर दी यार, क्या है इसी को इनका थोड़ा.
He states that there were 24 or 25 people altogether, yet somehow we've only managed to arrest 1. He's also said that Delhi people know about it. They know how these Muslims are treated. But these people are new. They got offended. They got insulted. They took offense, which is why all of this happened. The assumption from this police officer is that when someone comes up to you in a train and says, come on, Muslim, move, which is what he's told us on camera, move, that the person has to move without taking offense. If you take offense, you get knifed and murdered and left to die. That is what this police officer is saying. Vikram Singh, what is the treatment that this police officer should receive for the manner in which he is treating this murder?
Faye, this is totally unacceptable, and this man is not worthy of the uniform that he's wearing. He is not worthy of the trust and the responsibility reposed on him. He represents, his uniform represents the Constitution of India. Obviously, he has a partisan mindset and a very scary situation, a very eerie situation to have an SHO being unleashed on the people like this. Such a person requires psychiatric help. But a person like this, to be an SHO, I think that the best thing possible now is that he should be relegated, given some kind of a psychological treatment, because this is absolutely unacceptable to have a partisan attitude, and an SHO like this is a curse on the department and on the uniform.
Right. I want to bring in Khushi Mohammad. Apurva is standing by. She tells me that Mr. Mohammad has something to say right now. Apurva, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I just translated the entire tape of the SHO that our reporter got, and I just told him exactly what the SHO said, and you will just hear what he's trying to tell you. आपने जो भी पूरा टेप मैंने आपको बताया कि जिस तरीके से SHO ने बताया, क्या लगता है आपको ये सब सुन के किसी भी तरीके का आपको न्याय मिलने की कोई उम्मीद है?
देखो जी, इस तरीके से आज जिस तरीके से पुलिस बता रही है, इस तरीके से हमें न्याय नहीं मिलने की उम्मीद नहीं मिलेगी है।
और आप उनके माइंडसेट के बारे में क्या कहना चाहते हैं? वो बोल रहे हैं कि ये तो होता रहता है, उनको बस बच्चे हैं, वो नए हैं, इसके वजह से उनके साथ ऐसा हुआ, उनको बस वही चलता है एटीट्यूड में चल लेना चाहिए था।
देखो, ऐसा ये जो बोला है ये गलत बोला है। जो बच्चा हिपज हुआ पड़ा हो, जिसकी 16 साल उम्र है, जो पूरी कुरान पाक को अपने सीने में रख के नहीं और सरेआम मतलब सुनाता है, पूरे रमजान में उसने सुनाई है, और उस बच्चे के लिए इस तरह बोला जाए ऐसा होता रहता है, तो ये हमें कहाँ न्याय मिलता नजर पड़ रहा है? ये तो पुलिस जास्ती कर रही है हमारे साथ।
Right, so the basic outrage that they're saying that there's absolutely no hope for any kind of justice if such remarks are coming out of the police, the same police who have assured them time and again that they will bring the perpetrators of this heinous crime to books. But so far, as you've seen, it's been 5 days and only one arrest has been made. They have CCTV footage, they have eyewitness, they have so many people who were on board that train that particular day.
Let me open this up to the rest of our panel.
Actually identified, they have no suspects that has been identified.
Let me open this up to the rest of our panel. Brijesh Kalappa, representing the Congress, national spokesperson of the Congress. Brijesh Kalappa.
I would also like to
one second,
bring
Raman
to
Mallik.
your notice in this debate that the officer concerned, yes, he was...
Go ahead. Let me bring in the rest of our panelists. Brijesh Kalappa. Brijesh, go ahead.
May I?
Yes, go ahead, Brijesh.
Yeah. So the first thing I'd like to say, Faye, is that this is not an isolated incident, and several others have been killed like this. I can read them out. Junaid Khan, then Mohammad Akhlaq, Pehlu Khan, Rasul Butt, Abu Hanifa, Riazuddin Ali, Zafar Hussain, Ayub Pandit, and this list can go on and on, Faye. And there seems to be a pattern in all this, that first of all, law and order in certain states, and most of them are BJP ruled states, has totally broken down. Now I can only give you what the perspective really is. The real perspective is this, Faye, that when Akhlaq is beaten to death and he's killed, and you must remember that Akhlaq's son serves in the Indian Air Force, and Akhlaq's killer is wrapped in tricolor, and the union minister is there present at the funeral. So this is the kind of honor which a killer is being provided by the government of the day. So nothing can be more evocative than this, and nothing can tell you the whole story far better than this one incident. Now the point is that a young boy, about 15-16 years old, is murdered, and just one person is killed, and they say it's a mob. First of all, Faye, I would ask this basic question. Has the officer who was in charge of the train at that time, an RPF officer, or whether he was a provincial police officer, was he suspended? Was any action taken against him for not sensing that there was a mob and the mob was taking things into their own hand? He had no clue. Was there not an RPF officer on board the train to say that, look, there was something going wrong? I'm told that several officers turned their eyes away when this incident occurred. So this is the point. The point is that when the administration
I would like to counter Mr. Kalappa.
The incidents that occur, and those people who are perpetrators of crime, then certainly there is something seriously wrong.
Right. Raman Mallik, respond to Mr. Kalappa. I want to bring in the other members of our panel. Raman Mallik, respond.
Him with facts.
Go ahead.
First of all, let's go on to the last question that he put. What was the officer doing? My question to him is, what was the officer on the train where Deen Dayal ji was killed? What was the officer there? Who conceived the whole thing? So let's keep that part aside. Now let's come up to the basic premise.
I'm sorry, Raman Mallik, that doesn't answer the question.
I'll give you two examples. I'll give you two examples. Please, let me give you two examples. Sanju Rathore, a 15-year-old boy, in July 2015 was shot dead by Muslims because his cattle was grazing in a field. That is also a basic crime like this. But the second incident, which I'm quoting, a driver was beaten to death by the people of a particular religion because he was playing bhajans in a cab.
Raman
is
Mallik,
also another
Raman
case.
Mallik,
Now
Raman
this
Mallik.
is the differentiation between a hate
let me
crime
give you a word
and
of
a crime
unsolicited
in
advice
hot
here,
blood.
Raman Mallik.
So
We're talking about the murder of a 16-year-old boy, calling out murders of other 16 and 15-year-old boys. Don't make
I am
this
also
one
quoting
okay.
you a murder of 15-year-old.
I'm talking about specifically.
I am also quoting you a murder of 15-year-old.
I'm talking about.
I'm quoting you a murder of 15-year-old who was killed because his cattle grazed in another person's area.
The investigation of this particular case is compromised by police officers who are not doing their job. We have a very senior police officer on the panel today who has said very clearly, a retired police officer who has said very clearly that the police is not doing their job. They should have been able to crack this case by now. 5 days have passed. Only one arrest has been made. And instead of answering those questions, you are taking this down a completely different road.
Faye, I will take your question and simply put that some incidents would have happened in the officer concerned whom you are quoting. Now, I would like to understand how many suspensions did he did. It is not so. A EMU train generally carries over 1,000 people almost. Now, there are two officers. Let's talk practical. What has happened is regretful. What has happened is a sin for the society. But it was a hate crime. It was a crime with a hot blood after fighting. It was not a hate crime based on religion.
Okay, are you done, Raman Mallik?
So
okay, fine. Okay, give me Raman Mallik. Give me Raman Mallik. Raman Mallik, let me say it for you. Raman Mallik, you've been at this for the last 24 hours. Let me say it for you. This has nothing to do with religion. These boys were fighting over the seat of a train. Now that I have accepted that, now tell me, how did the knives get on the train out through the metal detectors? Why is it the train didn't stop when the chain was pulled? Why is it that there were no actual policemen on the train? Why is it when these boys were trying to get off the train, they were pushed towards the people with the knives who were stabbing them? Why is it when there were 20 people who were attacking them, only one has been arrested so far? Why is it when the boys got off at the train station, they were left bleeding on the platform of the train and nobody came to help them? Where was the ambulance? Where was the police? Where was the justice? Leave your religion and your politics out of it and answer my questions if you have any answers tonight.
There are two stories going here. One story is what has been inscribed in the FIR. The second story is being said otherwise. It is a matter of investigation for the police to verify which story is correct. So let's understand, let the police do its job. Let's not...
I'm sorry, I'm not bringing other members of the panel. Let's not deviate. My questions were very clear and there was nothing religious about my questions. You don't have a single answer. Not one answer to my question, Raman Mallik. 24 hours have passed since I asked these questions. You don't have answers. You're talking about narratives. You're talking about stories. You're talking about media. Your police is not doing their job. Your police is not serious. They're not serious. I have proven to you that they're not serious. I've proven to you on camera that they're not taking this seriously. Ejaz Naqvi, Advocate Supreme Court, joins us from Lucknow. Ejaz Naqvi, go ahead.
The officer also said 2-3 days. It's going to be some result is going to come.
There are serious consequences of such things. This is not mere a single lynching. It is a mass lynching. Mass has attempted to do all these things. This is a kind of riot. This is a kind of mass hatred towards a specific kind of people. Such thing has happened in the Mumbai riots. All the youngsters who were playing in the cricket and all that in 1992 or 93 has been killed. Their family have raised hand against the government. They had colluded with the bomb planters. And the consequences are
Ejaz
before
Naqvi, stay with this case, please. Ejaz Naqvi, stay with this case.
Talking about the bullet train. In 21st century, you are talking about the bullet train. Your police has failed to arrest the culprit. Your GRP has failed to deter this kind of offense. Your RPF has failed to attend such kind of ticketless travelers.
Also talk about the case of Sanju Rathod. Also talk about the case of
Raman Mallik, please listen. Have at least the common courtesy to listen to the other panelists.
Government is not transferring this case to a special inquiry officer or a special CBI or any other officers, because the offences are not relating to Haryana. It is also relating to Delhi. You should transfer to the Human Rights Commission.
It should be transferred out. Shabnam Hashmi is a social activist. Shabnam Hashmi, social activist, joining us in Noida.
130 crore judges.
Right, Shabnam Hashmi. See, I want to our entire panel, I want to focus on the merits of this one case. 1 second, Mr. Naqvi, I want to focus on the merits of this one case because I do not want to get derailed by pulling out long histories of what happened in the past. Let us focus on this case. Here's where we are. A 16-year-old child was murdered in cold blood by people in a train. No, one person has been arrested. The remaining 19 are off the hook. We have on tape the SHO GRP who was in charge, Mr. Raman Mallik. The SHO GRP who was in charge of safety and in charge of investigation of this case, turning around and saying on camera, you know how these Muslims are treated in Delhi. People walk up to them and say, hey, Muslim, get up, give me your seat. Now, this particular set of people took offense. They're probably new to Delhi. They don't understand how they're supposed to be behaving, which is why all of this happened. This is the evidence we're providing to you that the police are not taking this case seriously. All we want from the government is that you put in a certain level of seriousness. This person needs to lose his uniform, not just be suspended, which is a two-bit, band-aid that you will give us to the media to keep quiet. He should be removed from office, and we want to see the police actually do their jobs. Shabnam Hashmi, go ahead.
Faridabad, very clearly.
Well, I think what is very disturbing is the normalization of the discrimination. The fact that what you have shown, the footage here, how normally he is talking about the discrimination against the minorities, against the Muslims, which takes place almost every single day. And the fact that he is laughing about it. I agree with you that this this SHO should not only be suspended, but he should be removed. But it is not one person who from the police who behaves like this. It is an institutional bias which is set in the police, and one sees it almost everywhere. You are talking specifically about this case, so I will not mention other cases, but wherever one is seeing these lynchings, the attacks, or even regular cases, there is an institutional bias against the minorities, against the Dalits, and against poor people in general in the police force. That needs to be addressed very, very seriously. Unfortunately, there is nothing much which is being done about that.
Right, and Shamsuddin Tamboli joins us from Pune. Mr. Tamboli, go ahead.
I would not like to. I would like to contradict this here and now.
I know you want to, Raman. I'll come back to you, Raman Mallik. I'll come back to you after everyone has had one chance to speak, and you can respond to all of them. Mr. Tamboli, go ahead.
Go and transfer the case to CBI. Arrest the accused. Very simple cases.
From yesterday, I am listening, hearing all this type of debate, and I feel that there is a need of probe into going into the why these policemen are behaving like that. There must be some kind of cause behind this. Another thing, from last 2-3 years we are observing that the intolerance is increased, insecurity, the fear is also increased. In Pune, Mohsin Sheikh was such type of a boy, engineer, who was killed by the mob, and nothing has been done about that till now. So I think we are talking about all these things. कोई कहता है कि उनको जन्नत मिलेगी, कोई कहता है उनको 10 लाख मिलेंगे, कोई कहता है ये सब बातें करने से क्या इस तरीके से जो मोहसिन शेख है, मोहम्मद अखलाक है, या तो पहलू खां है, या जुनैद है, क्या इन सब लोगों की ज़िंदगी वापस आ सकती है? दूसरी बात मुझे ये कहना है कि सरकार जो कर रही है आजकल टेररिज्म के बारे में बहुत कुछ बातें की जा रही है कि देश के अंदर इस तरीके का जो टेररिज्म बढ़ता जा रहा है उसके बारे में हम क्या कर रहे हैं। हमारे महाराष्ट्र में जलगांव में भी इस तरीके की बहुत सारी बातें होती जा रही है। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि there is a need of anti-communal violence bill also, but the government is not taking these things seriously. So I think
yes,
that's true. That's true. And also just a similar thing I will examine in Kashmir also the same thing has happened. But so it is not a point of one community or another community. But nowadays these Go Rakshaks and other such type of people, they are getting some kind of strength, and maybe I think why this type of poisonous atmosphere has become in the society. Yes. During the time of elections, when this political party try to come in the power, at that time they use such type of languages which provoke the community, and particularly such type of fanatics, fundamentalist organizations.
I want to bring in one second. I want to bring in Vikram Singh on this very important point.
And it is not good.
Yes, Vikram Singh, it is true that this is not about one community or the other. There has been a rise of hate crime across the country. This is a breakdown of law and order, Vikram Singh. There is a lack of fear for the police, and that is the problem. If these people feared the police, there would be no crimes. The fact that in Jammu and Kashmir there was a police officer who was lynched to death, it's an absolutely horrid story. This is about the fact that law and order has completely broken down, Vikram Singh.
Why not? Rome was not built in a day. But suddenly you have Rome demolished in a day, brick by brick. We have demolished the wonderful edifice that the police was. It took us 150 years to build up the laws, the system, the armaments, the first-class fighting machine that the police is. But thanks to our political friends, thanks to our convenient senior police leadership, they demolished the entire edifice brick by brick. Today, it is difficult to find a person who can repose trust and credibility. What happened 10 years ago will not work today. And what happened in Kashmir we should hang our heads in shame that a person was doing his duty and a youth was done to death. And we still have not the arrest of Mirwais. If I were the DGP of Kashmir, I would have had him arrested and had him tried in Coimbatore and invoked the provisions of the NSA and the Makoka on him.
Right,
Obviously. The police have not been feared, but the police need to be feared. The lawless elements, the crime syndicates.
Let me bring in Ejaz Naqvi as well. I cut him off the previous time. Ejaz Naqvi and then Raman Mallik. Ejaz Naqvi, go ahead.
I want to come in, Faye.
Yes, Raman Mallik, I see your hand up. I'll come back to you. Ejaz Naqvi, make your point and then Raman Mallik will respond.
What is happening across the Maharashtra, Haryana as well as Jammu Kashmir? Government has given free hand in terms of moral boost up, in terms of aspiration, in terms of showing Nathuram Godse. They are free hand. It is not first case. In Maharashtra, one police officer in the Latur area has been lynched. But unfortunately, he survived. Mohsin Sheikh case is from Pune. In the jail, one person having beard has been killed by another fellow because he was looking like a terrorist, though he was a suspect. Another case also in Maharashtra has happened. There are 4 or 5 cases Maharashtra, and then Haryana, and then Rajasthan. UP is very much. Jharkhand, 3 cases has been happened. 3 cases. One is saying this is a general law and order problem. Then you are just saying, you are putting your head like an ostrich. It is not the government's duty. Government's duty is to be strict. You otherwise remove this police officer and transfer the FIR to some other agency. Mr. Mallik just replying to the people in a layman manner without following the due process of law, without following the rule of law. It is just a kind of spit on the judicial system by the police officers. If we will not get the justice or anybody will not get the justice, they will lose their confidence in the judicial mechanism. Once public will lose the confidence in the judicial mechanism, something more wrong will happen. And the examples are, so many examples are there. In the Nagaland, Kashmir, everywhere the examples are there. Police officer being lynched.
Raman Mallik wanted to respond. Raman Mallik, go ahead. Raman Mallik, go ahead.
I will.
And where your Human Rights Commission, where your Commission?
Now I would like to very categorically say here. I would like to categorically say here, this particular agenda of the selected few will not work. One, that in 2005 Rahul Gandhi goes to the US ambassador according to WikiLeaks and says Hindu Atangwad or Bhagwa Atangwad, and then 2007 the Malegaon and the Samjhauta Express happened and all those things happened. Now that is one part of it, the narrative is being set, and the same kind of people are setting the same agenda right now, and these are all motivated people. Now, when it comes to the basic fact that these kind of things which have happened are wrong in any country like India, I would not. See, I was quiet. If you want, I can also disturb your thing.
Okay, no, Ejaz Naqvi, let Raman Mallik make his point. Let Raman Mallik make his point, Ejaz Naqvi.
You're about Wapsi Brigade, and the leftists and other guys were sitting dumb ducks when Pandita was killed in Kashmir, lynched. Where was the About Wapsi gang at that time? Where was the conscience at that time?
It's shocking.
Where
if you listen to Raman Mallik, one would think that this was almost... Raman Mallik, does the life of 16-year-old Junaid in some way make up for the lives that have been lost on the other side? Because I remember one very wise man in this country once saying that an eye for an eye will make the whole world blind. Do you remember who that was, Raman Mallik? Do you remember who that was?
Right, an eye for an eye will bring whole world down. But what did the Congress do over the period? It categorically went ahead with its agenda of destroying India and creating a racial divide. I will ask you,
Brijesh Kalappa, go ahead. Brijesh Kalappa, go ahead.
To the underprivileged. Why have we not been able to do justice to Muslims? Why have they not risen above? Why did they not get
one at a time, please, gentlemen, calm down. Raman Mallik, I know that you feel that you have to avenge the deaths of the past with fresh deaths of the current, with the fresh deaths from the present, but allow my panelists to at least respond to you. Brijesh Kalappa, go ahead.
Faye, the first thing I'd like to say is I feel very sorry for Raman Mallik. The very fact that he, first of all, when I mentioned 6 names, then he mentions a couple of names, and both of them happen to be Hindu names. Look, I'm not really concerned if a person is Muslim or Hindu. It doesn't matter. Now there is a Muslim who has been killed by Muslims in Kashmir. Now what does it speak about? It speaks about the complete breakdown of law and order. We are not concerned if a person is Hindu or Muslim. The Constitution does not make a difference. The Constitution does not say that so-and-so is a Muslim so you can kill him, or so-and-so is a Hindu, you can't kill him. This is not the point. The Constitution says that every single Indian must be protected. Now here is this gentleman who's a BJP spokesperson.
The Constitution that you are referring to, Mr. Kalappa,
he has to counter them with 2 Hindu names. Why, Mr. BJP spokesperson? The Congress party comprises 90% Hindu. So we are not bothered about that.
Why?
We are only looking at every Indian. We don't care about a person who's a Hindu or a Muslim. We are only saying that each and every person has contributed to this
Your
nation.
party did it. 84. It was a racial ethnic cleansing. 84. What happens to Kashmiri Pandits was a racial elimination. So when you talk about it, be ready to face it also.
Kashmiri Pandits were driven out during a BJP regime, sir. Do you know that the BJP was supporting VP Singh in 1990 when the Kashmiris were thrown out?
90 it was...
let me stop this. This is an embarrassment. Mr. Raman Mallik, Mr. Brijesh Kalappa, Mr. Raman Mallik, I have a question for you, please. Mr. Raman Mallik, if you hear me, I have a question for you. I am neither Hindu nor Muslim. I believe in the Constitution, Raman Mallik, that says we are all equal. It says that in the eyes of the law, in the eyes of the government, in the eyes of every office, in the eyes of every Indian is equal. Now tell me, Raman Mallik, how is it okay that you are calling out the deaths of previous people to make okay the death of this 16-year-old boy? What are you teaching the young people who are watching this show right now? What are you doing? Why are you calling out? 1 second, my question is not over. Calm down. Raman Mallik, I know that you like to get upset. Calm down.
Of what happened in the last 60 years.
Raman Mallik, calm down. When I'm asking you what is... Raman Mallik, calm down. Calm down, Raman Mallik. Calm down, Raman Mallik.
This regime says...
I will thank you to listen to me. Raman Mallik.
Of religion.
I just told you that I'm of neither religion. I'm of neither religion. I believe in only one thing, and that is the law of the land. Let's talk about the law of the land. Your police is not doing their job. Your police thinks this case is not a real case because the victim was Muslim. That should teach your government that there is something horribly wrong in the ranks of your police officers. Horribly wrong. And because there is something wrong among the ranks of your police officers, please, sir, let me finish my sentence. That is why there is a breakdown of law and order in the state. Now, any responsible government who took its job seriously as... No, you cannot. You may not answer until I finish my question.
Can I answer to your question?
I haven't asked my question, Mr. Raman Mallik. I haven't asked my question. Any responsible government that took its job seriously, as bestowed upon it by the Constitution of India, would first run a fine-tooth comb through its police force to find out where the problems are. What are you doing instead? Making excuses, giving money to the family, trying to make this seem like it is okay that this boy died because other boys have died in the past. If you are not raking up communal tension right now on this show, then tell me what are you doing? Tell me what are you doing? Why can't you give me a straight up legal response for the questions that I have asked you? A straight question, a straight answer for a straight question. Where is the investigation? Why are your police so slow? Why do you have police officers who are saying this is not really a problem? What have you done? What have you done? So do you want an answer? That's my question.
Do you want an answer or not?
That's my question, Raman Mallik.
Do you want an answer or not?
I don't ask questions that I don't want answers.
The answer is, as I stated in the opening debate, as I stated in the debate earlier, the teams are there, they are working, and in your tape also, the officer concerned, who did speak very carelessly, did say that 2-3 days there would be something happening. Now that is one part of it. As communal divide, and what am I doing? I am just saying that everybody, irregarding of the religion the person follows, it does not matter what religion you follow, you are a citizen of India and you have all the rights and all the duties in equal proportions. So that is what the government's premise is. And as per this particular crime, the government is serious. The help, whatever financial help is given, has been always given to anybody in such manners, in such cases, and that is what it is. So let's not deviate from where we are talking and what we are talking. And as far as whatever I've answered, if somebody allegates on our party, if somebody allegates on this government, I am there to tell you the facts as per what my understanding is and the stance. So let's understand it. This disparity should not be there. That because of a religion particular or a party particular, somebody can say anything.
Khushi Mohammad, who is Junaid's cousin, wants to come in and say one thing. Apurva is with him right now. Apurva, go ahead. Hand him the mic. What would you like to say to us?
The police officer transfer the case to some other police station.
आप जैसा कि हमें बता रहे थे कि जिन्होंने भी ऐसा एक स्टेटमेंट दिया है, आप इनके बारे में क्या कहना चाहते हैं? आप बोल रहे थे कि उनको सैक कर देना चाहिए।
वही जो इंस्पेक्टर ये नहीं समझता आदमी की कीमत नहीं, अगर ऐसी दुर्घटना होती रहती है आदमी की कीमत नहीं समझता, वो लाइन ऑर्डर जानता ही नहीं है, ऐसे अफसर को तो बर्खास्त कर देना चाहिए, हटा देना चाहिए बिल्कुल।
और क्या उनको पुलिस की कोई जानकारी है?
उसे नॉलेज ही नहीं है पुलिस की, उसे वो जानता ही नहीं लाइन ऑर्डर क्या होता है, तो ऐसे अफसर को हटा देना चाहिए, बर्खास्त कर देना चाहिए बिल्कुल।
That is the statement that is coming from the relative there. Someone who cannot value someone's life.
Someone who has no value for life should absolutely be removed from the job. Ramakanth Gaur, unfortunately your audio was bad the first time we came to you. What Ejaz Naqvi is saying is very simple. If the government wants us to show us its intention, A, fire this police officer. He doesn't deserve the uniform he is wearing. B, move the case to a different department of police, preferably from outside of the state. It's very clear, it's very simple. Ramakanth Gaur.
See, such people are responsible for the law and order. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
So basically, such people are responsible for the law and order, and people who are sitting in the polity, who are administering them, are failed to respond to one question. What had happened to their system? Why this incident had happened. One, what action has been taken against the erring officials? They are completely silent on that. They are talking about this and that. They are talking about religion. They are talking about hatred. They are preaching us what is to be done. They are not telling us what action has been taken against the erring officials. Where was their GRP? Has any official of GRP been suspended for not patrolling in that area? The train was stopped at 4 stations, and no official from the 4 stations has responded to this issue. There has been no inquiry from Railway Ministry. There has been no inquiry from the Delhi police, because the offense occurred in Delhi.
I just want to. You're making a very good point. I just want to bring in one last voice. Colonel Atul has been on the phone line waiting to make his point for a very, very long time. He's called us on his phone line. Colonel Atul, very quickly, go ahead. Colonel Atul.
Yeah. Firstly, I won't say good evening today because there's nothing good about the evening, right? And now let me switch over to Hindi. हिंदी में सबसे पहले मैं जो जुनैद के पिताजी हैं, एज ए आर्मी ऑफिसर, एक भारतीय होने के नाते और एक हिंदू होने के नाते मैं आपको देश की तरफ से माफी मांगता हूँ कि आपने अपना एक जवान बेटा खोया है। हम शर्मिंदा हैं कि हमारे रहते हुए, हम सबके रहते हुए हम उस बच्चे को बचा नहीं पाए। आज फौज के जवान, फौज के अफसर, चाहे वो हिंदू हैं चाहे मुसलमान हैं, आज सरहदों में बैठे हुए हैं हम सबको बचाने के लिए। और क्या हमारे ये राजनेता जो लोग बैठे हैं, जिनको ये पुलिस प्रोटेक्ट करके रखती है, क्या ये एक बच्चे को नहीं बचा सके? ये बात कर रहे हैं वो जीआरपी की, वो स्टेशन मास्टर कहाँ है जिसके इलाके में ये सब चीजें हुई? वो गवर्नमेंट के ऑफिशियल कहाँ हैं जो इतने लोग बैठे थे? भाई जुनैद के पिताजी, अगर मेरा बस चले मैं आपको अभी गले लगा के माफी मांगना चाहता हूँ। ये भारत इन लोगों ने नहीं बनाया है, राजनेता ने, ये हमारे बहुत लोगों ने मिलकर बनाया, और इसलिए ये भारत चलता है क्योंकि हम लोग यहाँ पे, और इन लोगों के भरोसे पे अगर हमने देश चलने दिया ना तो ये देश के टुकड़े टुकड़े कर देंगे। आज जो कश्मीर में हो रहा है और बाकी जगह हो रहा है, वो इसलिए हो रहा है कि हम आम जनता चुप बैठे हुए हैं और ये नहीं समझते इस बात को। इनमें से एक व्यक्ति ने जुनैद के पिताजी से माफी नहीं मांगी। हमें सिर्फ एक जवाब सुनना है हिंदुस्तानियों को कि हम कब जुनैद के पिताजी को जस्टिस दे पाएंगे, इसका बस जवाब दे दीजिए। छोड़ दीजिए कितने हिंदू और कितने मुसलमान मरे, सिर्फ ये बात जुनैद के पिताजी को बता दीजिए कि भारत में रहते हुए वो उनके बच्चे इतने ही सेफ है जितने हम सब सेफ है, और उसको जस्टिस मिलेगा। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दिस।
Colonel Atul, thank you so much for calling us on the phone line and articulating what all of us feel tonight. A collective responsibility and a collective regret that we weren't able to save Junaid and we weren't able to do better. To our viewers who think that this might have been some sort of a hot-headed crime between two boys who got into a fight, there were 4 boys on one side and 20 on the other. There was 1 hour and 24 minutes that they travelled in that train when they were being continuously knifed, stabbed and beaten up. And as one of the brothers told us, every time they tried to run and get off the train, they were being pushed back by the onlookers towards the people who were attacking them. They were not allowed to get off the train. They were knifed repeatedly until finally they were allowed to get off the train. Nobody came to their help. In a crowded train station, one brother held his bleeding brother in his lap as he bled to death. 16-year-old Junaid is now dead. And there is no justice. As we have seen police officers say, this is a normal thing. We've seen government officials and government representatives turn around and say, Hindus have been killed in the past. There is no justice. And all we have that puts us together, that makes us common, is our constitution, because we're all Indian. It's not about Hindus and Muslims, and as soon as we go down this road, things will only get worse. Remember that if these 25 people were allowed to stab 4 boys and kill 1, it's because law and order broke down. It's because police officers were told that they didn't have to bring these people to justice, that they don't have to take these crimes seriously, that this sort of thing is normal. And now we have The Chief Minister of Haryana, who has said the police is doing the best they can. Well, Mr. Chief Minister, if this is the best that they can do, then they are not good enough. Then your police must go. And you must transfer this case to the CBI. You must transfer this case to someone outside of Haryana, because Haryana is just not good enough. It's not good enough for its citizens, and it's not good enough for India. Unless you transfer this case to the CBI and show us that you are serious, we will continue to suspect that the government wants this to happen. That is the only way you can show us that you mean business. Giving the family 10 lakh rupees and telling us the police is doing their best is not good enough, because we have proven on the channel today that the police has no intention to bring justice. None whatsoever. And we are tracking Ashok Kumar, SHO, GRP, Faridabad. If he continues to have his job, by the end of tomorrow, we will know that the Haryana police and the Haryana government has no intention to give us justice. Remember that we're watching.